Hey there, welcome back to the Fantasy Football Game Plan. He's Quentin, I'm Judy. It's week 14, and we're going to give you our favorite player props for week 14. Drop your best bets in the comments and help us out and hit the subscribe button. Don't miss any of our episodes. Thanksgiving's over. How did your bets do last week?
Yeah, the bets we played ended up doing pretty well. We ended up giving out like one per each game, and we even had like a parlay for the Chiefs Cowboys game, which we had an under that actually hit in that Cowboys game. So I'll take the blessing there. And we hit two of our three bets, and we ended up like +2 units. So that was a nice little addition to the fun like DFS sweats we were having for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was a fun week. I always loved the Thanksgiving. Now I'm waiting for Christmas, but first we have to get through week 14, a very important week. Most of us are trying to make our fantasy football playoffs. And with Drake May being on bye, it's causing some problems for sure for me. But let's jump into the bets. What's our first bet of the week? I can't believe we're doing this one again.
We're back. Rinse and repeat. Michael Wilson over 4.5 receptions, -140. It's really just we don't think Marvin Harrison's going to play in this game. It's Jacoby Brissett, and we know he's going to hyper target that X wide receiver, that outside wide receiver. That's going to be Michael Wilson. In the games without Marvin Harrison, we saw him already get 10 receptions or over that, double-digit receptions in 2 games without Harrison. So 4.5 is just ridiculous. You can comfortably take Wilson, even on the uncertainty with Harrison, up to 5.5 receptions.
Yeah, it was a little confusing last week. They left him at this 4.5 line last week with Harrison in, and Harrison hit his numbers and was over. And Michael Wilson had 3 catches still, even with Marvin Harrison in the game. So with no Harrison, I love him to hit this line again.
So for the next one, we have Calvin Austin under 4.5 yards. And really, I'm just trying to fade the Steelers passing game. And that is because, like, with Rogers and Mason Rudolph, it has kind of just been unwatchable. And
Yeah.
I
Do
don't
we
know.
know who's going to be quarterback? Is Rogers going to try to gut out another performance and see if, he gets any more cuts and has to go to the sideline or falls on his broken wrist?
I'm not really sure who it's going to be. I would kind of lean towards Rogers. I mean, he took a heavy sack and his nose was busted up, but they're still trying to make the playoffs. But I saw this ridiculous stat. I saw it on Twitter. I forget who was the source, but it was that the Steelers did not complete a pass that went over 20 yards, air yards, in the month of November. And that is the entire like region that Calvin Austin operates. They're using the tight ends. They're even using DK as like the screen game. But Calvin Austin's the deep threat, and they are just not taking deep shots. And especially
Yeah.
getting it under with this Ravens team coming off a loss at home, I feel like it's a great spot.
Yeah, you mentioned that they're fighting for a playoff spot. This game is for the division lead. So I think technically the Ravens have it right now, but whoever wins this game will take over that division with a clear record. So this is an important game. I don't think they're going to be taking the shots down the field this one with either of those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
All right,
So
so we'll go on the under there. I like that one. What's next?
the next one is an investment in the Bears rushing game. And I was kind of debating whether like both Swift and Monongai looked great last week, but it's hard to choose which one you actually want to invest in. This is actually one of the few times that I'm interested in the combined bets. So DraftKings offers these. You can look under on the rushing props and then combined rushing. And they have Swift and Monongai combined for 100+ yards -105. So their combined
Okay.
yardage together.
But they're playing Green Bay.
They were playing
In
Green
Green
Bay,
Bay. How does
in
that
Green
work?
Bay, but we just saw them bully the Eagles. I mean, they were not getting contacted to 4 or 5 yards down the field. And it's just that Ben Johnson rushing scheme. We've seen the Lions in the past have success against Green Bay. They have the offensive line that's kind of come together to do it. And I just want to invest in this rushing game and what I've seen from the Bears. I also don't think they're going to trust Caleb Williams on the road in Green Bay too much. They will much rather, if they're having success on that rushing game, lean on it. Last last week we saw both of these get over 100 yards individually. So they had
Yeah.
255 yards combined last week.
I can go with you on the game script, and I will give you credit that your Bears call this year has surprised me. You've been all in on the Bears. You were all in preseason that they were going to lead this division. And I keep going back to that. And I still can't believe that they are. So I can see where it's happening. And 100 yards for two players, like you said, that we're seeing a lot of rushing yards come from, isn't totally out of it. How do you feel about that 150-yard alt line?
Yeah, at the alt line, the price is plus 730. So 150. I mean, Monongai has had games where he's hit this line individually, and Swift has had games in the past before. So I just think together, plus 730 is way too long of a price, and I'm very interested in investing at a. I'll sprinkle in the 150 yardage as well.
All right, sounds good. You got some touchdown bets for us. Who's getting a touchdown this week?
Yeah, I want to start it off with an underpriced running back, and that is Bucky Irving. I like what I saw last week. He looked fresh, he looked good. That Bucks team is off the bye, they are healthier, and I think he's gonna get the opportunity. We saw the Bucks kind of rush back Godwin earlier in the season. I don't think they're gonna make that same mistake with Evans and McMillan, even though they're practicing now off IR. I think they both sit, and a little of that uncertainty of who's gonna play is probably driving this lower price at minus 110. I think we see a minus 150 for a favorite Bucks team against the Saints.
I think so too. But yeah, they're here at home in Tampa. So I like that. Bucky did look good last week. It was very surprising to me how good both Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin looked in that game. They both looked very healthy. So if they can get Baker Mayfield healthy, then the Bucks are going to have a pretty good run here. But I love they like to get that ball to Bucky Irving
Who's
anytime they can.
who's one of your favorite targets this week?
One of my favorite targets is Tyler Warren. I know I was not big on the Colts last week, and Colts are heading into Jacksonville. Jacksonville in week 9 gave up 3 touchdown passes to Brock Bowers. And given that this game is a highly contested divisional game as well, and we've got an injured Daniel Jones, I think he's going to be looking for his tight end, Tyler Warren. So Tyler Warren at a plus 165 in Jacksonville is my pick for a touchdown.
I like it. I think he's one of their biggest mismatches, and they've kind of have been underusing him in recent games. So I think they'll correct that moving forward.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to go to the air against Jacksonville. Jacksonville has not given up a lot on the ground to anybody. I know that they're going to try to run Jonathan Taylor, but they may end up having to go to the air to beat the Jaguars.
I'm also very curious. There was a couple times where we know Jones is playing with that fractured fibula, and we saw a couple times where it would have been a good opportunity for like a QB sneak, and they didn't give it to him. And they actually put in Tyler Warren in those situations sometimes too. So we have like a potential like tush-push situation where Warren can get a rushing touchdown too.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and they've got to get the ball to him. He is one of their very talented players. So if they want to win this game, they need to look for Tyler Warren. And plus money, can't beat that.
Yeah. I have another tight end for us, Dalton Kincaid at plus 225. This is one we're going to have to watch the injury reports. And I really just want the Bills tight end against Cincinnati. I lean Kincaid if he's back and healthy because he is such a dynamic threat in the passing game, especially in the red zone. But the Bengals are currently on pace to give up 1,600 yards and over 18 touchdowns to tight ends on the year.
That's
So
crazy.
that would be like wide receiver 1 in fantasy numbers just for a tight end who's playing against the Bengals. So plus 225 for a team that already likes to feature their tight ends in the red zone is too good of a value.
Exactly. Yeah, they love their tight ends. They are who they go to in the red zone. So we'll have to watch and see if Kincaid plays. Otherwise, Knox might even be, plus even higher
Yeah,
and
you
a
could
good
get a
bet.
discount. Um, and even Jackson Hawes, who's like their rookie tight end, mostly blocking, but he'll get a couple targets a game. So if you wanted a true long shot, if Kincaid misses,
Yeah, it should be a fun game. We'll see what the Bengals can put up against them.
yeah.
What's the last one?
The last one is Ollie Gordon, the number 2 running back for the Miami Dolphins at plus 500. And I just think there's not too many times the Dolphins have been up big this year. And in those games, we actually see Gordon get a fair amount of carries. He's gotten like 9
Yes.
or 10 carries in their big wins. So I like here against the Jets. I think they have that opportunity. Maybe give Achan a little rest, and those short yardage situations will go to Gordon. So a plus 500 seems like a pretty good value given that game script.
Yeah, I think I like this a little bit more when Darren Waller wasn't playing. Now that he's back, I think we're seeing a little bit more go to him. But as they had less weapons, we were seeing Ollie Gordon get more involved. I think they need to start leaning on him a little bit more and seeing what they have for next year before the season ends. Ollie Gordon was one of my favorite picks, especially if Devon Achan ever got hurt this year. But that hasn't happened. He's been healthy.
Yeah. And I think there is opportunity where they use both backfields. So if they can prove that they actually have Gordon as a piece moving forward to feature him more, I think that's great. They are tied for sixth highest rushing rate in the last 3 games. They're shifting more to a rushing focus. We'll see if that continues with Waller. But yeah, that's our long shot touchdown to round us out.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that's it for our week 14 player props. Tell us your favorite plays in the comments and play smart, have fun, and we'll see you next week.